All right, peace, peace, peace. First and foremost, hopefully the Most High in your house shall blessing your day. By His mercies, we are consumed. We're alive in the Most High in your house shall body, and two, we're naturally alive, man. I just want to come back with another, quick little video, man. I want to talk about this because I was actually talking about this with my uncle yesterday, man. Because he's telling me how, like, pretty much he was just talking about how your house showers the door, and we just talking about that, like, kind of like, because he's telling me some things, some personal things, like, and like and this kind of led me to this, man, because like because I was meditating even on this a while back, like a few weeks ago, man, about like what in Genesis 4. Actually, yesterday was the fourth, but let's just get what you call 'em, and this all goes into our desires and what our will is, like because actually like because the precept of the day of the in the in the Discord app, I mean, it was Second Corinthians 4. I mean, 5:14 and 15, man. But because those are y'all brothers and sisters that's in the Discord app. Well, I should say brothers, because most of the brothers in there, or there's our brothers and sisters, but it's in another Discord app. Y'all know they get a daily like scripture for the day, but I just want to go into this, man, because it all goes into the Most High Hashai's will. Which will are you going to do, man? Because remember what he said to Cain, man. Like because this, and we're gonna see this. There's actually an example of this about sin being at the door. Like because he's talking about spiritually as far as your desires, but we're just gonna go into it, man. Genesis chapter 4 verse 7. It said if thou, because listen, and this all goes into like one doing what the most on your house Shah's will, like what they want, not according to what we thinking, like what I think in my mind what he wants. No, what he said what he wants, man. Like that's a Cain mentality. Like that's a Nurse Ratchet or Kathy Bates from Misery mentality, man. Like I know what's best for you. No, I said what I said. No, this is how you can help me. Because a few months ago, I think I told y'all this. I had to self examine. I had a little situation where somebody asked me to do something, and he said no, I don't want that. I said I want this. I kind of caught myself getting upset, but I was like, no, just Cain immediately popped in my mind, like just I was like, no, yeah, he did say that, man. That's how the Most High house shot is, man. You can't like that's why even like when we talk about like this is all a reflection of one another, man. Because when we even talk about like the whole like a lot of times these modern Western women, especially our sisters, like not all of them, but a big majority of them that's been westernized and pretty much of the world, pretty much of the serpent, and pretty much of like Mother Goddess, divine feminine, the worship, like the feminist stuff like that, or just liberal mindset is like, okay, I'm gonna do what I want, or I'm you can't handle me, I'm gonna do what I want. That's a Cain mentality, like pretty much I'm going to do no, I'm going to have bad behavior and not conduct myself like no, you should just deal with my misbehavior and my bad conduct, but you're not a real man if you don't deal with that. No, it's actually the opposite. I'm actually that set man would be a real man because he's not going to tolerate and deal with that, like, your behavior and conduct. So that's all. That's a Cain mentality, man. So, but pretty much, man, even myself, man, I really had to watch that Cain mentality, man, because, that's another story for another day, man. Because you have certain people like out. Yeah, certain people because certain times it's you can walk and chew gum at the same time. It's a balance thing because certain people like and like they say in the world, like in life, like it's the thought that counts. Yeah, it does. Well, one that's for man, but like not when the most on your house shot. No, it's really what they say goes, man. If you can do it or you don't, man. But as far as man, because some people they do appreciate that. Some people like even say, listen, I appreciate you doing it, but no, I don't want that. And you can't get mad at that when somebody says that. It's like, okay, they didn't ask for that or they didn't want that. Like it's best off like like the brother sent me of the first one said, like giving somebody a gift card or something like that, like or just doing somebody to what somebody said, not what like you think you would want it. But sometimes there's some people that appreciate that they don't mind that. Okay, cool, I didn't ask for that. Well, one, you gave me to what I asked for, but two, you also gave me something that that I'll thank you. You think I would I would have liked. So I don't mind that. But some people say no, just do what I say. So it's different. So that's another story for another day. But Let's get to Genesis chapter 4 and verse 7. It says, "If thou doest well, thou shalt thou not be accepted. If thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee it shall be his desire, and it shall rule over him." I mean, yeah, exactly. Thou shalt rule over him. Yeah, let's read this one more time. It says, "If thou doest well, thou shalt not be accepted." Shall thou not be accepted? If thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall his be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. So yeah, exactly. So notice how it says sin shall lie at the door, and his desire, man. So let's grab this real quick, man. Let's go another example in the law of sin lying literally at the door. It's actually a literal example, like But it's all about your desire. One is about the inward man, who you are, your faith in Most High Yahushua, and your obedience to them and who you are, and also too, on your desires, man. Because so let's get this Genesis chapter. No, let's read Genesis 4 and 7 real one more time, because I want to read it clearly. "If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? If thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him." Exactly, man. So that's why it even says, listen, have rule, like the rule over your spirit. That's why Proverbs says that, man. That's why even Sirach says that let's grab that real quick, man. Real quick. Are we getting this Genesis 19? Ecclesiastes, also known as Sirach, chapter 27, verse 3. It says, unless a man hold himself diligently in fear of the Lord, his house shall be overthrown. So yeah, it's going to rule over you. Sin is going to rule over you. Sin, iniquity, transgression, wickedness is going to rule over you. Unless you have the fear, walking in fear of the Most High house. That's what living according to the faith, the promises, the obedience of His instruction, His laws, statutes, commandments, man. So that's what it is, man. That's why, you want the Most High house to rule over you, man. That's what it is. Or less, like what did he say in Luke? He said, "Those that won't reign over me, put him over here, so let him be slain." So but yeah, let's get this actually an example of sin lying at the door, man. Genesis chapter 9, verse 19, verse 10. It says, "But the men put forth their hand and lie into the house and shut to the door." So yeah, it says, "And they smote the men that were at the door in the house with blindness, and both small and great, so they weary to find themselves to the door." So yeah, man, this is an example of sin being at the door. Let's read this one more time. Genesis chapter 19, verse 10. "But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house." This is where the angels get Lot, "and shut the door. And they smote the men that were at the door with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves at the door." So yeah, that's in the line at the door. Also too, this is actually lines up too as far as the gospel testimony is what Yahweh Shah, man. Those that were smitten with blindness, so they can see the door, which is Yahweh Shah, man. So that's because he tells you the end from the beginning, man. The whole book is about the Most High Yahweh Shah, man. So yeah, the door of the house. And that door of the house is the house of Israel, with that blindness, man. Those that won't believe, the smallest and the greatest, the great being the rulers, the chief priests, the Pharisees, the scribes, and the smallest being just the average person that just didn't believe. But so on the spiritual tip, like Yahushua said, my words are spirit. That's just what it is. But in this instance, man, that's sin. This is sin lying at the door, man. But notice how the most Lot wanted to eat with the angels, man. There's a oh my gosh, where's it at? There's actually another example of that. But yeah, man, Lot just yeah, man, he was good about them. He wanted to have the he ain't worried about all that stuff, man. So he was that wasn't his desire to do that, man, because that's just is what it is, man. So it says, but the men put forth their and also too, this is an example of he that loveth father, mother, children more than me. Because yeah, man, Lot was like, listen, he was willing to put his daughters out there. He was like, listen, take them. I'm sitting here eating with the angels, man. Damn, I wish it was another it was either something in the letters or example of that in the gospels of this whole situation, but it's all good. It says, but Lot put forth This is not 19 verse 10. But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot out into the house to them and shut the door. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, and both small and great, that so they that wearied to find themselves at the door. And that's in line at the door. It's in the literal sense, man. But it's all about your desires, man. Let's get this Luke chapter 14 real quick. You know, Luke 14 verse 27. If any man come to me and hate not his father, mother, and wife, and children, and his brethren, yea, and his own life, cannot be my disciple. So yeah, man, it's about to doing like we talked about last night, man. The most on your house will abide forever, man. You could do your will, man, but it's not gonna last as long, man. So that's what like it's all to that desire, man. Like in John, let's go to John 10, man. And what like just like those game shows, man, like or like those movies or whatever, TV shows or whatever, video games, like which door you going to choose, man. Like the most high house will, like shoot the will of the world, like these other gods, or like sin, like or your own will, pretty much, which is all lines up with that. But that's what it is, man. So like because that's is what it is. Let's see what door like we should enter into, man. Because it says sin lieth at the door, but which door you gonna go into, man? John chapter 10 verse 9, it says, I am the door, but if any man by I'm sorry, I am the door, by me if any man enter in, he shall be saved, shall go in and out, and shall find pasture. And that lines up with that Psalms 23, like the Lord David said he leads me to green pastures, man. That's it's Yahweh, man. But it says, I am the door, by me if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and go in and out, and find pasture. So yeah, man, that's all goes into like the door, man. Which door you gonna go through, man? Like door, pretty much the door of the Most High house, the door of Satan, the door of sin, iniquity, transgression, the world, evilness, the door of the serpent, man. That's just is what it is, man. So yeah, man. Hopefully this is edifying, man. Yeah, man, that's is what it is. Cause I was talking about this with my uncle yesterday, man. I was like, yeah, and this came in mind because I had it written down a few weeks ago. Cause that Genesis right there with Cain, that was an example with the sin at the door. That was a literal example of that. Also too in Judges as well. No, let's go to that in Judges real quick, man. But see, it all goes into like your desires, like one the inward man, because one. Like you can't, especially with somebody that's faithful to the Most High house, man, has strong faith. You know, you can't tempt them with something that they don't want, man. That's why Yahushua overcame that temptation with saying, man, because he didn't even want that. That wasn't even like his promise to his father was more important than that. Like his that just goes into that will again, because he already had something that was promised him. How can you give me something that that is what you call them that's always promised to me. And that's like the brother sent me first one said, man, that's the whole Satan's really purpose. Like, just from like, he's just like one, because the people realize those that don't believe already, they're already condemned. So they're really not that like, and it's not really that important. But Satan's just like, he's his role is pretty much do what he did from beginning with Eve. Like, in the way, who's that? We're Eve. It's like, and he tried to do that with that's why he didn't come to Adam. When he stepped to Adam, like the second Adam, you saw what happened. So like that's just is what it is. But now we're Eve, but we had to walk like the second Adam, man. Like so actually what? Because yeah, we're the woman, but we gotta do this. Let's grab this real quick in Maccabees real quick. We're the woman, but spiritually, like because we're Eve, but we spiritually gotta have let's grab this real quick. Because we're the weaker vessel to Yahushua. But let's look at this. You have to take on that manly mindset, even though being a woman spiritually, not saying that we're actually, because I don't want to, yeah. Okay, no. Where's it at? I'm gonna give my other one. Okay, where's it at? Oh, come on. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Hold on, y'all. Here it is. Yeah, my bad. Yes. Even though, like, going back to the point, even though we're like we're the weaker vessel to your house shot, man. But us being Eve, like you were saying, but we know we had to take on that same mindset, like how when the serpent, like temptation, desire comes, like you had to take it on like your house shot, because he said that in Luke. He said, "Listen, I gave you, like I'll overcome, like beheld Satan as lightning, like I overcame him." And also James says the same thing, like when resist the devil, he shall flee. It says pretty that resist means pretty much take him on face to face, like step into him like that, like listen, and he'll flee, like wisdom of Solomon says too. The Holy Spirit shall flee the seat, man. But let's get the second Maccabees to the point. 7 verse 21. It says. Yeah, she because this is going to like in the context of what we talking about, saying being a woman taking us being the woman weaker vessel, but taking on that Adam's mindset, like the second Adam's mindset, that manfully mindset. Even though like of course he says like my flocks are men, and like Proverbs 8:4 says, but I'm just for the point in this aspect. It says, "Yea, she exhorted every one of them in their own language with courageous spirits, and stirring up with her womanish thoughts with a manly stomach. She said unto them, yeah." So pretty much, man, she took like yeah, I cannot tell you, and ye came into my womb, neither I gave you breath nor life, neither it was I that formed you. Formed the members of I'm sorry, let me read this again. Second Maccabees 7:22. I cannot tell you how ye came into my womb, for I neither gave you breath nor life, neither was it that I formed the members of every one of you. So yeah, exactly, man. So that's just yeah, exactly, man. So that's just is what it is right there. Oh, that's kind of a lot. That's a lot in there too. But pretty much, man, that's just is what it is, man. Like just how like when that temptation desire comes in, we had to be like your house shot, man. Even though like even though we are Eve in that aspect, like when the serpent temptation comes with us, we gotta take on like that manly stomach, and that stomach is what, like the belly, and the belly is what, the mind. So like you have to take that on like your house shot did, like that desire comes, man, at your door. So um, that's it. Is what it is. Let's get this in Judges, man. Like well, y'all can read Judges 19, man. That's another aspect of of sin being at the door, man. Like this is not that's the actual instance of it, man. But like that's what it is too. It's just like the old movie The Lost Boys, man. Like because when they was try to he when he they when the teenage boys, man, they thought what you call them, they were curious about what you call them, because this is during the height of a horror movie, like the peak of it, that 80s, well 70s to like 2000s really, but really I'll say really 80s is the peak of it, but those especially like for a vampire movie, something like that, but not really 80s, but that's neither here nor there. But they were curious about like if the man that their mother was dating was a vampire or not. But once it got revealed that he said, "Listen, little silly little children, you never let a vampire into your house, man. You don't let those things in, man, unless you want to, man. That's why Satan can only get you with your own desires, man. So like that's what his purpose is, man. It's really to get the ones that believe, like thrown off, man. That's it. And also to saying he's really not that big, man. He's like son of Blah. He's really worthless. He's really the worst type of person, man. Because he's the misery loves company type. Because he knows where he's going, but like he just wants to take everybody with him, man. He wants to take more people with him. He's a nigga that like snitch on everybody, like now, but he's locked up with them, man. So now that's just is what it is, man. That's why he's not as big of a deal, man. He's not even worth mentioning. So, but hopefully it's edifying, man. So, peace.